I just received a request for child support from a woman I've never met. A few days ago, I received a notice from an attorney that I am being sued for child support from a woman I have never met or heard of. Context: I am a biological cis woman. I am straight. I have 0 children. I have never done surrogacy, egg donation, or even given birth or come close to it.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a woman, you would know if you've had a child.
I know. I think I would remember that. The last 9 months are a blur.
Oh.
I contacted the attorney listed on the document, a fairly well-known attorney around where I live, to make sure it was legit. And no, it wasn't legit, so the whole story's over. Just kidding, it was legit. He stated that his client came to him to sue me for backdated and future child support for her 15-year-old and stated, I am the biological father. But OP is not biologically a man or a father. The attorney had my name, address, and info like my birthday, where I went to school, yet somehow didn't know that I am a woman.
I wonder what their name is.
The attorney, yeah, it's like Jamie or something.
Yeah.
Or like
super
Sam.
gender neutral.
Yeah.
Madison.
The attorney also stated that the woman is in her 40s, repeated her name to me, and verified with me if I know her. I stated, I've never met or heard of her.
Come on.
I'm a biological woman who has never had a child, and even brought up that if I was a man and was a bio dad, how would she not be in trouble for statutory, as I would have been barely 15 when the child was conceived, and she would have been in her mid to late 20s.
Wait a second. So what if OP's like, hey, let's just like bring this to court? So number one, it's going to be so obvious
that it's not true. But 2, let me sue for what, sexual misconduct?
Yeah. It's like, hey, if you want to sue me for this, then I'm going to sue
suing
you
you
for
back.
Come on.
The attorney stated that as an attorney, he needs to follow through, and I need to see him and sign the documents and do a DNA test.
No.
To confirm any relation to the child.
This is the case. This is maybe.
Bro, just hop on FaceTime or something.
The number one case of not doing a DNA test.
I know. This is a waste of time. Like, you would think this attorney would be good enough, this famous attorney would be good enough to like do enough research to know that this is not possible. But again, maybe it's the paralegal that's working on this one.
I wonder
attorney in training.
Do people also change their sex to get out of child support?
Great idea, maybe. I don't know. Is that a thing that happens? Let us know in the comments if that has happened to you. I informed the attorney that it's literally impossible for me to be the father, but he won't take no for an answer and told me to bring my lawyer to his office tomorrow, which sucks because now like OP's having to pay a bunch of money for that.
That in that case, hopefully you can get, and you legal people might know more than me in the comments, but you could just get a public defender.
You legal people
that comment on our videos and educate us so wonderfully. Maybe you could just get a free public defender, and that's actually a case that the public defender could be like, this easy.
But sometimes the public defenders are so bad.
take a bargain.
And they end up successfully being sued for child support.
That would be crazy.
We plead guilty.
Yeah, right? It's like, dude, it's impossible. Oh.
Well, there's definitely some like worse public defender stories out there.
Oh, you're
for
right.
sure.
Gotta find those.
Do I actually need to get an attorney? Can I just show up and be like, look at me? Very much a woman and have never given birth. Leave me alone. I need some proper guidance on where to go from here. And obviously, there is a big, juicy, thick update. But John, if you were giving legal advice, which we are not, what advice would you give to OP?
I would not give, but give legal advice of, honestly, if this was me, I would kind of just want to stoke the flames and have fun with it. And it's like, all right, you're continuing to like harass me with this like lawsuit stuff. Bet. Let's go to court. Let's get in front of the judge and let's let this judge, laugh you out of the courtroom.
Yeah. And I also wonder if there's a way to like flip it on the person suing. Like if it's so obvious that you're going to win, can you win more than just like your attorney fees paid? Like could you countersue.
You're saying, can I put more money on this?
Yeah, like can I invest
like a
more
gamble.
money to see if I can get like some crazy return back?
What's the ROI? I mean, I know like
Because you can countersue for emotional damage.
Yeah, emotional damage plus there has to be some other, again, our wonderful legal people in the comments go crazy.
Where are you, legal people?
Where
Come on
you at?
out. Come on out.
Inform
Get
us like
behind
you
that
always do.
rock, you legal people. Come on out.
Or anyone with an opinion with no legal
Yeah.
expertise whatsoever. We love reading your comments.
We love all of those people.
Yes, but I think that there's something more, even beyond emotional damages. Got to be something else, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Has to be.
So legal people, let us know. But John,
Yes.
there is a juicy update coming in on November 11th, which is the next day.
Wow.
First, to answer some questions I've received via private message and saw posted. No, I do not have a masculine/gender neutral name, which we were thinking of.
Whoa.
I actually have a very long feminine first and middle name. Both are spelled very uniquely.
It's Elizabeth. That's her middle name.
Princess Maybelline. That's my guess.
That is a great name.
Super female.
Can you name your kid Princess? Probably, yeah, for sure.
This is
You
America.
can name your
dude.
kid anything.
You can actually.
Yeah.
There are things that are banned. Elon Musk's kid wasn't allowed to like be named some number.
His password?
Oh.
Yeah, password.
Use a password generator to name your child.
Yeah, Riley, look that up while I keep reading this. Yes, I have brothers. No, none of them have passed, so I wasn't being sued in their place. They are all alive and well and even easier to get in touch with than I am, as I'm not even on social media, and they're all very active on social media and have public pages, LinkedIn profiles, much easier to find randomly through Google search. Yes, I also have a father. No, he wasn't the one that was being sued for child support on behalf of me. And Riley, before we go on, is there any illegal names that we can't have in the US? Do we know?
Some great ones.
Yeah.
I peeked at the list.
We got, you can't name your kids King, Queen, Jesus Christ, 3, like I in the Roman numerals, Santa Claus, Majesty, Adolf Hitler, Messiah, the @ symbol, or 1069.
Which is like, isn't that like a tax form?
A 1099 is a tax. Maybe 10. But here's my question: can you name your child other numbers though?
Yeah. Is it just not?
It's just 1069.
That I feel like you should look that up on ChatGPT really
according
quick.
to this article.
But I'm going to keep reading. So in the beginning, this woman stated that I didn't even have any family, by the way. She told the attorneys I can give him the family he's never had since he's been alone his whole life, referring to me as he. So the attorneys are like trying to play to the emotional side of OP and are like, look, you should really help this sad, lonely child have a father. And OP is like, look at me. Pick up the FaceTime.
He should have a father. Not a mother.
Not another
me.
mother. Wow,
Yeah.
that was really homophobic of you, John.
You're so right.
Jesus, can't have two mothers.
I don't know where I'm at right now.
Damn, John,
My mind is
this
spaghetti.
is 2024.
I know.
2024.
I
dude.
know. Yeah. bad.
Anyway.
Moms, get after him.
Oh my.
Even if one of my brothers was the father and I did a DNA test, I didn't, there would still be no way to prove I'm biologically related to this child as I'm adopted. I mean, you could do a DNA. Wait, couldn't you do a DNA test? And
I guess you could, but maybe there isn't like hospital records of the medical history. But I would imagine that if someone in their family has done it, then they could connect that way.
Right.
But it's not guaranteed, probably.
the only relation to my siblings is literally because my parents signed a piece of paper and drove to pick me up from state custody. Also, if she were trying to set up the DNA test to prove a familial link to the kid without the father present, if she knew anything worth her time about my family, she would have gone to my sister, who is biologically related to the rest of my adoptive family, adopted from another family member. So what I think maybe they're trying to do, or what it says, is like, oh, do this biological test so we can see if one of your brothers is the father. Because if they're biologically related, then you would kind of prove that. Because it's like if one of the brothers was the actual father and said like, no, I'm not doing a DNA test. Now they're just going through the whole family to see if anyone will do it.
If OP is the aunt of the kid, that likely means that the brother could be the father.
Exactly.
Right.
No, I thankfully have not been a victim of identity theft. This was not someone posing as me. And thankfully, there was no shady trying to change the paperwork from bio dad to mom. Even in the documents this woman's lawyer presented to my attorney and the documents I was sent, it clearly stated that I was supposedly the biological father. Which is like, it's like a name like Princess Elizabeth. So it's, you know, like I don't know why that wouldn't ring clear as something is wrong. But Riley, do we have any more info on the whole what you cannot name your child in America?
Yeah, the law bans names that contain obscenity, numericals, symbols, or a combination of letters, numerals, or symbols. But naming a child after a mass murderer is A-okay.
So Ted Bundy on the table.
Perfect.
But you can't do whatever Elon was trying to do.
And you can't do, they said you can't do Adolf Hitler either.
No.
But that's a mass murderer. Is it just it's only Adolf that you can't do?
I mean, I guess it's both in the same thing.
What if your last name is Hitler?
Then you can't have Adolf.
So you just can't have like is it you can't have your first name be Adolf Hitler, or it's just that you can't have your like whole name be Adolf
My
Hitler?
guess, and then the other thing too is like, what parent named that? That's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, they do exist.
F all you guys,
bro. All
that
right,
would do
wait.
that.
Okay, story time about a video I saw that I want to show both of you. That's gonna make you mad, and it's about bad parents. We'll get to it at the end of the story.
Okay.
So now, as to what happened. I went to the attorney's office with my attorney as he requested during our call yesterday. And guess what? The suit was dismissed.
Hey, thank you.
It happened very quickly, thank God. I thought we would meet with a judge because that's how I assumed it worked, but we went to the lawyer's office and met with him and the woman who filed the suit. I got an attorney as I reached out to a friend who lives in my state, as a lot of his family are attorneys, one of the families where it's in their blood, basically. And turns out his aunt handles family cases. He got me in touch with her and we spoke. After I told her the situation, she laughed and said she'd do it pro bono just for the entertainment, which is really nice.
It's a fun one.
It's pretty
a fun one.
Apparently, she knows the other attorney and says he's a So I guess that's a benefit for me since she was more than happy to represent me. We met with the attorney, showed my BC ID passport, adoption papers, and my initial BC birth certificate prior to adoption.
There we go.
For good measure.
Good.
The attorney was frustrated with his client, obviously, but very kind with myself and my attorney about it. He apologized for the inconvenience.
Why didn't he do that in the beginning? I mean,
I don't know. He probably just like kept pushing it as like, let's just get this person in, like, because it's like obviously they're the one lying and not us. The whole thing was dismissed. And while my attorney initially suggested an order of protection, because clearly this woman was unwell, as while we were in the office, she was saying that I was a man who had a sex change to dodge support, which is why she referred to me as he and said I make more than enough money and my money belongs to her and our child, etc., etc.
What?
Wild.
Oh, that is just mind-numbingly insane.
But I gotta believe that it's happened at least once.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, the sex change, at least on paper, because I believe there was a story in like Ecuador or something like that of a man just legally changing his sex to female so he could like win a custody case or something like that. Yeah, so it's like, oh, now a female, that's a mother, and then you know it was easier to win the case that way or something.
And that worked?
I believe it worked. Yeah, I think that's why it was like so big. And all he did was. And I use he because he was like, I literally just changed it to female on paper to get the kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let us know if you've heard of anything like that. I would love to know your answers in the comments. We ultimately decided against the RO. This is the restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
As after all of this insanity, she was honest about how this came about. So we're going to get the tea.
Okay.
She, myself, and my male cousin used to work in the same place over a decade ago. I worked a different shift in a different part of the building. She was a secretary and he was a typical office worker. He is the father of the child, as apparently they had known each other for years prior, but he is also now a stand-up guy. Nope.
What?
Whiplash. He is also now a convicted violent felon.
Oh my God.
Currently incarcerated and not on the birth certificate.
Wow.
They are the same age and went to school together in the next town over. Since she had access to my information, as the office still has prior employee records, she confirmed the connection via Facebook because he has our family listed. And with that, she was able to link my cousin to his father, which led to my mother as he had her listed as a sister. and she's his sister-in-law. She's just going through anyone that she can.
Right.
Because the actual father is in prison.
Yes.
My mother was always my emergency contact, so she has access to my information. She said she was able to get my contact information in the easiest way. She figured she could throw a suit against me, get a DNA test, then lead back to him, and she would try to go over him and sue my uncle for support as he retired from a good job and has disposable income. And my cousin is incarcerated. So she was just trying to basically latch on to any DNA evidence that she could so she could get some money, which honestly she's entitled to.
Yeah, for sure.
But just not from anyone except the incarcerated person.
Yes.
No, I don't understand her thought process because honestly, I have no idea how any of this works or if this is even a thing she could possibly do, which is it? I don't know. Also, she said she was recently fired, which is why this came up now. And since she knew my cousin was incarcerated and she needed the money, she found me via our last name and made a copy of my resume and the important info in my file. After all the theatrics and chaos, etc., she said she finally decided to give up the fight because she realized she couldn't win, which smart.
Yeah.
The only smart thing that this woman has done.
Yes. My God.
Especially once I presented my paperwork and mentioned that some of it was my initial adoption/birth records before adoption, as that's when she realized there was zero chance that the DNA test would get her where she wanted with everything. Sorry if this wasn't the super exciting update you were looking for, but I'm just glad it's over. At the end of the day, I just hope she gets help, but I'm staying far away and warning my family about her. I hope you all have a great day. And there are some relevant comments and some small updates. But I guess with all of this, do you think should other families be responsible to give money to a mother?
When someone suspects that someone's the father, it's hey, you need to take the paternity test to prove your innocence, essentially. Not quite as strong a case, but definitely a case kind of in that vein of yo, you are their parent, their sister, or whatever. I'm trying to get in touch with this person and you have contact. So help me
figure something out.
To figure something out, get the proof to contact them.
Right. But you
getting
don't think,
money from that person
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask for sure. I mean, I believe.
Is there any legal precedent for that to happen?
Legal precedent? Who knows?
Right. They looked that up on ChatGPT. Can you sue family members for child support? Or the family members of the father for child support?
Yeah. We'll
in California.
We'll see if there's anything. But I will say, I also imagine take an example where grandparents that, they know their kid is wild and crazy. And it's okay, that they're not being a good parent, but I want to be a good parent to the grandkid. If they were able to reach out and get in touch with the grandparents, they would maybe voluntarily be oh yes, we will maybe
which
care
we've
for
seen before, where
times.
Parents and grandparents have offered to pay for their grandchild to have a better life.
Yeah.
But let's get into some relevant comments.
Let's do it. All right, Sam, I got one for you. Red flag or green flag? They send gifts in text messages.
I'm going to say red flag.
Ooh,
I don't know. I don't like if you are, all right, if you are only sending a GIF as a response, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's not the move.
But you know what I want you to fuck yourself with?
What?
Our new drop, the red flag, green flag drop over at okop.show/shop.
That's right. Get busy with one of our 50 hats, hoodies, or overalls that we have as part of the drop that ends February 9th.
And if you support the drop, you have a chance to be featured on the show and get interviewed.
So show your love and make sweet love with the stuff that you can get at okop.show/shop before items run out or before February.
So,
do it.
Mob55 says, wow, what a psycho. I get that she is desperate, but she should have texted your cousin's dad and told him about the situation and then went from there. But you should at least let your uncle know that he has a grandson out there that he did not know about so he can decide what he wants to do about that situation. And OP replied, I definitely am going to inform him and more family members about this just in case. However, according to her, she has no way of contacting anyone else in my family. She only got my info from taking it from an old employee file from decades ago. And then Mega Ma Wax says, I was hoping for something more along the lines of you asking the lawyer whether or not he knows how babies are made. And if his belief is that 15 years ago, his client, mid-20s, had sex with a 15-year-old girl and became pregnant as a result, then you eventually tell him that you aren't coming in. And if he wants to talk to you, he can have you served. Eventually, he files a suit and you appear in court without a lawyer and are just like, look at me.
Look at me.
The judge gets so annoyed by this basic failure to do due diligence that this leads to the lawyer getting disbarred and perhaps criminal charges are filed against the woman for attempted fraud or something. Still, everything you did is much more mature and reasonable. I do wonder, though, whether what this woman was attempting to do was illegal. And I'd be curious what her lawyer was actually thinking when you informed him that you were a woman. Presumably, he had to have some thoughts about contacting someone with an obviously feminine name. Did the woman tell her lawyer that you were a male to female trans prior to coming in? What a bizarre situation. And OP says, so there was more conversation than what I posted, as I was mostly just trying to give an informative enough update. She never mentioned anything to him about me being trans. She insisted I was a man and fathered her child. My attorney asked him what his initial thought was when he learned my name and spoke with me over the phone and said he assumed I was a man, mispronouncing my name and disguising my voice as his client insisted I was a man. However, later in the conversation, it came out that the attorney was aware of how she received my information, and she had even provided him with a copy of my employee file from the former job, which has all my information plus a copy of my ID and passport. So in reality, I couldn't even begin to tell you what either their state of mind was. And there is some additional info from OP in the comments. But pausing right here.
Yes.
Why aren't lawyers doing their jobs?
That's a great question. And the thing that the commenter posed was basically my exact idea. If a lawyer is this incompetent and is willing to, do all this without doing the due diligence, take them to court and just honestly, just for the satisfaction, just for the
lawyer
sweet
John
revenge.
Coming in, and
low key, I do look like a lawyer today.
He looks like a lawyer on his off day, like not quite on court,
with the tie off. You know what I mean?
Taking the tie off a little bit, just relaxing. Dude, this is perfect for this story.
Can I also very quickly point out all three of our sock games today are just going absolutely incredible. Riley, can you flash your avocado guac dip?
Dude, those are great
stuff.
You have bow ties on yours.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, come around. Let the people see those sweet little piggly wigglies you got going on. Here we go. Dude.
Kick it up.
Best socks I've ever seen you wear. Yeah.
Kick it up.
Oh, and the chili.
Kick it up.
Dude, look
all
at that.
All the way up. There we go.
Sam's going to break our producer. Oh my God. Boom. There we go.
I like that we did a little foot five there.
Sock game is on top today. But yeah, I think this is a great way to go after the lawyer because at that point, it's almost self-protection in a way.
And also, you've wasted OP's time and energy. And again, don't forget about the emotional damage.
Come on.
But let's get into some comments from OP. So without sounding mean, she sounds very unwell. She genuinely thought that this was the best method to handle the situation. Unfortunately, in the end, she screwed herself over. The suit has been dismissed, and now she'll most likely be reported to the former employer for stealing private records. Plus, my uncle has no responsibility for this kid. He doesn't even have a relationship with his son nowadays since he's incarcerated for life.
Oh my God.
Her best option at this point is to pursue paternity with a violent convicted felon that isn't even allowed around children. I feel for her, but I hope she gets any help she needs and things get better for her and her kid. And then another comment on hoping the woman gets help. From what I found out today, she has plenty of family and was with someone up until right before she lost her job recently. The other dude has helped raise the kid and still plans to be in the kids' lives, but he has no legal responsibilities. She got desperate and decided this was the best method. It's just kind of a mess of a situation and comes down to her needing help that even finances can't provide. There's also the issue of legal repercussions since she openly admitted to stealing private documents and providing her attorney with them on false pretenses and also lawyer fees.
Whoa.
I mean, it's like she's not she probably was expecting maybe to get something out of winning because I don't know. I know sometimes these lawyers do things on they don't charge until
the case is won or whatever.
Or lost. I don't know.
Yeah. Or lost. Yeah.
But hopefully it's one of those situations that it's on contingency.
It'd be really funny is if the lawyer was like, no, we're only going to do it. If you lose, it'll be free. So they're like, I only win if you win. Then they're like, God
Yeah, it's like, why did I waste all this time? Which is like a lot of lawyers work on contingency. Our neighbors that we met the other day, they're personal injury lawyers that work on contingency. So they only make money if you win.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Let's hope that she isn't financially ruined. Or
Yeah.
maybe let's hope that she is. Maybe she needs to learn her lesson. I don't know. Do you want her to be financially ruined? Put your answers in the comments below.
Let us know. I'm personally, I do. This was wild, but I feel for the mother just trying to get something for her kid. But
totally. I mean, like, she's got to do what a mother's got to do. But it sounds like she maybe isn't being the best parent right now.
It's 100%. I'm very curious to hear what y'all have to say on this one, for sure.
And on that note of bad parents, I need to show you guys a video that I saw of the worst parenting ever. A parent basically raising little douches. If you look up worst parents, Reddit vaping.
Oh, is this what I think it's going to be? That is what I'm afraid of.
This one?
And the worst parenting award?
This one?
No. Well, let's watch it.
A kid with a basketball just. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That is awful. You literally put the child in complete blackface. Oh my God. And the kid, like, this is the kid can't do anything. Or the kid's a kid, you know?
God.
What is wrong with those parents?
Bro, that
Jesus
is
Christ.
so bad. Oh, here we go. I found it. Okay, so I saw this video of just like horrible, horrible parents, and I wanted to show you guys and get your reactions.
Here we go. Oh my gosh.
Dude, look at the little chains on them.
So there's like two kids, 3 and 4.
With
vaping.
frosted tips and vaping.
Frosted tips. One kid has a
gold chain.
A gold chain, a tank, like a Jersey Shore tank top, like a Jersey Shore fit, basically.
Yeah.
Like the Guido chain and shirt.
And it looks like they have like fake tans, dude. So bad.
Even a nicotine addiction at like the age of 4.
That is insane.
Have you ever seen that video of like the baby that's just like chain smoking cigarettes?
No.
Look Riley, look up baby chain smoking cigarettes.
We're getting all of the terrible parenting videos in today, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like this, and he's like super fat. Yeah, Indonesian baby. Bro, look at this kid.
Oh my gosh. What? He's just twirling
a cig with his finger.
This
He's
kid
happy.
is
He's happy though. Look at him.
3 maybe?
Bro.
Oh my God.
Like 2?
He's still in a diaper.
Wow.
Bro, he's lighting
in
his
a
other
diaper.
one.
He's on his other one. He has one cigarette in one mouth, and then he has the other one ready.
Bruh. That's crazy.
That's all he knows.
Crazy. He's
And
like,
now he is like literally he looked like a little adult, but now he has a bottle and he looks like a baby again. But like
he's like, I don't want this freaking bottle.
he literally
I want.
Is that a
more
gun?
cigarettes.
Wait, what?
No. Show me. But man, like so when you're asking like what kind of parents would name their kids like Adolf Hitler or like 1069, the same parents that allow their kids to vape and chain smoke cigarettes.
Wow, dude.
And they exist out there, unfortunately.
Insanity.
Yeah.
But you know what else is insane?
This next story.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it. Am I that for filing for child support after my child's father bought a house? This is OKOP, where we read the craziest true stories on earth. I'm John, and Sam. Are they the a-hole?
Well, now that you know that he has money, like go after it.
Yeah. Get some of the house.
Invest it 7% interest every 7 years. That doubles.
Let's get invested in Outrageous Gold's 8708's story. I am going to apologize in advance for the long post, but there's some background that's relevant. My ex and I met when we were 13 and 14 years old. Middle school sweethearts.
Is early. We were saying that earlier that relationships don't count before 13. So they just made the cut.
Yeah, you can talk about it, but yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, well, like basically like any relationship that you have before 13 is just stricken from the record.
Unless it makes it into high school.
But I feel like that as soon as the relationship crosses over 13, then it becomes real.
Oh, okay. So it's grandfathered.
Yeah. But it starts at 13. So you've been together since 13.
The grandfathering of middle school to high school relationships.
I have all these random rules that people like. The last video, the two golden rules that I came out for every 4 years of marriage, you get a hall pass.
Yeah, we reference that a lot whenever you're on the podcast.
There was.
And Sophia's like, what?
Sam would say something like that? Yeah, you would. That's your brother.
It's documented.
All right, this comes from Cosmic Inkwell. Sam's golden rules of marriage. For every 4 years of marriage, you get a single hall pass. 2, if your spouse dies, you have to wait 1 month for every year you two are together before dating someone else. Make more rules of marriage. I'll cross-stitch them. I'll make you a cross-stitch of them for the studio.
Yes. Thank you.
No, this is not. Stop.
This is great.
This is not great. Dude, that means we're going to have it like embedded into our studio and we're going to manifest this.
That's so funny. Wow. Well, there's honestly, Sam, you could have an opportunity of
for
creating
a rule
one
of marriage.
Today. You really could.
Dude,
really
I'm
could.
so down. I love my marriage rules.
Dude,
I don't know if I would like to live by them. But
no one should live by them, but they're so entertaining.
Sadly, they make sense. But
they do.
Wait, hold on, Big Protein.
But I'm not going to follow them. That's not me. They just like, oh, that checks out. Like,
yeah. But I mean, they're kind of good.
Is the joke becoming real?
They're kind of good. Riley's on board.
Y'all, I'm not on board. I'm not on board.
How many years have you and Naima been together?
Coming up on 4. 4 is approaching. 4 is approaching.
Okay, all right. Just
but
hold out.
No,
hold out a little longer, John.
Death one is okay, but the not that one. We ain't doing that one. I'm trying to live.
Yeah, you can't because it hasn't been 4 years, John. Don't get ahead of yourself.
You don't get ahead of yourselves. All right, I don't know what's going on here. My goodness. Anyways,
Naima's downstairs, by the way.
She is listening to the door right now.
He passed the test.
This guy. Anyways, back to OP's relationship.
Riley and I just getting John in trouble
for nothing. Inventing crimes from air.
He thought crime.
I do like stir the pot when I'm around them.
He does really like to stir the pot.
John said this, and then Naima just like.
Yeah, he did that last night. He did that last night.
Yeah,
what did you say? Oh, John saw some other women. On the show, trying to get John with other women on the show or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Christian State related?
No, it was something about the show. I can't. If I remember,
I basically was like, Naima, do you care if I pimp him out for the show?
On the show?
There we go.
So we can get more views and more money. And then she was
I think you said, I'm going to.
I'm going to.
And she's like, what? We ain't doing that, baby. But let's get back to OP's love life.
I love how Riley interrupted that. It's like, yeah, I respectfully asked. John's like, no, he just and their guns ablaze and said, this is what I'm going to do.
No, respectfully.
Yeah, no respect. Disrespectfully.
So OP says, send it to number 3. Remember, middle school relationship. We dated all through high school.
Wow, we went on a tangent.
We did.
But it was fun. Keep it in.
We dated all through high school and until we were 23 and 24 years old.
Oh, wow. That's 10 years.
Wow.
10-year relationship at 23. That's wild.
We went through these phases on and off, which always ended the same way. The kids and I starting over while he disappeared to do his thing. Oh, that is awful. And do they have kids yet?
Wait, the kids and I starting over?
So their relationship was on and off from, I guess, 13, 14 up until now we're at the story at 23 and 24.
Yeah.
And then OP was saying he would leave the kids and then come back and just keep flip-flopping.
So they do have kids.
It looks like right now, 23 and 24. I think we're about to get even more context, but I think they have kids right now at 23 and 24.
And he would just leave unbeknownst
and then come back and just keep going in and out.
Yeah, doing
of their
things.
lives. Revolving door.
And he was like hooking up with other people.
No, he was just doing his thing. We don't know what that was. He might have went fishing.
Disappeared to, quote unquote, do his
conspiracy theory. He's hooking up with people.
Damn, you could be right. Neither of us had good home lives as kids. We were what was familiar to the other. In other words, they had a very similar childhood. So it was very easy to fall back in the same pattern of BS every time he came crawling.
You got to
back.
rewrite the script. You know?
Generational traumas. We got to rewrite.
You got to be value based. You got to be principle based.
Exactly.
At the center. You can't be family based. You can't be relationship based. Principle based.
Yeah, principles like every 4 years in a relationship, you can go and cheat, as you want. Sam's golden rule.
Riley,
Sam's rule.
what's the book? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Steve Covey.
Really?
I'm reading it right now.
And that's they've got beef with
He doesn't call it out specifically, but he's like how to win friends and influence people, and it's just like that is superficial. And if you really want to live a good life, have it be principle based.
I could also hop on that train. I'm against Dale Carnegie.
Really?
It's fake. Dude, I have notes in the book that I read. It's a very complex situation. My relationship with Dale Carnegie's
is that a
company.
Okay, story time?
Oh God. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll poop all over him.
We were what was familiar to the other, so it was very easy to fall back into the same pattern of BS every time, and every time he came crawling back, which was always when I was moving on bettering my life. So every time she was like leveling up, he comes crawling back trying to get his way in.
Dude, so bad. And it's like sometimes it's hard to just get away from the dopamine of that relationship, you know?
And when it's what someone knows, and it's just our brains can build in so much to where we're like, oh, we're used to this.
You gotta
we stay.
Cut yourself free.
Cut yourself free. Cut yourself free.
Read a book. Start running in the mornings.
That's right.
Go surfing.
Journaling. Do those things
every day.
Become Sam. And we got more context on the children. When I got pregnant with our third child, I was now 22. So she was pregnant with the third child at 22 years old.
Wow.
So early children, a lot of children.
And all from the same guy?
All from the same guy. Is when I decided that I could not do this anymore. Enough was enough. And I really started to move on.
And that's hard because you have kids with that person.
It is really hard. And you're so like when you're young, you're way more impressionable to stay in it. So I so salute OP for putting her foot down early. Like to me, 20, 22, 23, like that's early to be able to like have that realization.
Yeah.
So salute to you, OP. Break the cycle. He was already into drugs and drinking really deep at this point, and he wasn't even close to the person that he once was. But still, I tried to live by 2 rules. Number 1, what would I want to do for me if it was me in the situation? And number 2, if he doesn't want to be a dad, I will not force him or allow him to say he did anything for me. We lived like this for years. He didn't ask to see the kids, and I didn't ask him to. He has never paid for anything for them.
Wow.
Eventually, he went to prison.
For what? Drugs?
We don't know. We don't know just yet. I think it might be coming up here. I had started school right before he went away, and for the first time in my life, wasn't working full time and was able to get medical coverage for my kids through the government. In order to do so, they ordered that he pay as much to the state. Fast forward to 2 years ago,
but he's in prison during this time?
Yes.
Can you pay child support in prison? I guess. I mean, yeah, you probably can.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So I guess maybe he's in prison and paying child support.
I guess so. And it seems like
some kind of money.
Him paying that unlocked the healthcare potentially. So we got some updates and context on that. In some cases, a parent in prison may seek a modification of child support orders due to the financial circumstances, and it's recommended to consult with a family member or law attorney. So basically, implicitly saying, yes, there is,
there's precedent.
There's precedent for that for sure. At this time, our kids were 8, 12, and 13.
Wait.
Really?
Wait, 8, 12, and 13, and OP is 23, or maybe it's a little later.
Eventually, he went to prison. That's where we're at right now.
8 years later, because she had a third child at 22, and then the child is 8. So
yes.
This is when she's 30.
That good call out. This is 8 years after the point. So she's 30.
So she had her first kid at like 19.
Yes.
So this was fast. So he went to prison when she was 28. Fast forward 2 years, she's now 30. She gives us what the kids' names are, and if you're reading the next sentence, he's getting out of prison.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of which, when he got out of prison, we had a custody hearing. At the time of the hearing, I had finished my classes and I was now working full time and carrying insurance for the kids. The judge ordered that his payment for the kids' insurance be routed to me to pay for their insurance instead of wherever it goes when you are on assistance. This change took literal months to happen. I got 7 months worth of back pay checks where it took so long for the changeover to happen, and then a few more here and there. That slowly turned into nothing. Mind you, these were insurance checks based on zero income, so they were $25 a week. not much. So,
Oh, that's not much at all.
yeah, in summation, she was able to get basically $25
That's
a week, which is
like one meal or
Very
two,
little.
maybe.
and it's not 100% clear, but it looks like that was used to help pay for which
Oh,
honestly,
rough though.
y-
I mean,
ve-
at least it's something.
very
but-
rough. But it and it looks like it was covering the health care of the children, which I guess is kind of more inexpensive,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Now, at the beginning of this year, I called the child support agency and asked what was going on. At this point, our kids are now 10, 14, and 15. I was told since he now has income and is ordered to pay insurance, we had to file a new case. Okay, so
So
now
he has a job.
Now he has a job and income. Now they're coming for more. So I did that. I filed the case. They made me fully aware that this would take quite some time as they were really behind on cases. I said, okay. He was made aware in court that he would be paying something for the children. Last week, 7 months later, we got our first set of paperwork in the mail. So it's taken 7 months just to try and get child support, now that he has a job. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, he and his wife just bought a house.
His wife?
He's married and just had a house. And he is mad that he might now have to pay child support, and this could affect his ability to afford his, guess the amount of the house.
I mean, it's got to be above like 400,000.
$500,000 house. So now he has the credit, finances, total financial package to be able to afford
that.
that $500,000 house.
I wonder if his wife is footing the bill.
Wife could be footing.
And also
all of
what,
it.
like for your first home, as I think this is what John told me, you only need 3% down.
You could be 3%. It could be 3% down. if it's
As
your
low
first
as
home.
3%.
As
down,
low as 3%.
which would be what? That would be like
5,000, 15,000.
yeah,
I think 15.
15,000.
Yeah. So, which is not
Still, but it's not a ton, but it's not insignificant
No,
either.
it's not insignificant at all.
Yeah,
At
he should be
all.
paying more than $25.
100%. If he's got $15,000, bro, these kids are now, the oldest one is 15. He paid like $100 a month for a few months, basically.
Yeah. And
Come on.
where was he saving up that money? So that's where we get the back
yes,
payments.
Yes.
Ooh,
So
ooh, baby, we got to come up and something.
we do, as well as telling me that he and his wife have a new baby. This guy, wow.
What a crazy reveal to have happen to you.
And honestly, I'm going to throw this up. Red flag segment, red flag alert for his new wife.
I know.
You must know some of his situation.
Does she though?
You're right.
And if she doesn't,
You're
double red flag.
Yes, we already knew he was a red flag from previous.
Yeah,
he knows
yeah.
he's a red flag. Does his new wife with the new baby in the new house?
And if she knows, red flag for her.
Yes, you're right. Big red flags over here.
Red
Big
flags all around.
There are a lot of expenses that come along with that, the baby, that I just wouldn't understand because they're doing it alone. They don't have any help. I refiled way before he had applied for a loan. I had no idea he was planning to buy a house, as we do not talk. When he communicates with me, it's through his wife, and even that is rare.
Okay, so then she definitely knows about her.
Yeah. She definitely at least knows. Maybe she doesn't know the whole picture, but we have to imagine.
But I imagine she knows enough that if she's the point of contact, like she knows.
Come on. He has seen our oldest child one time this year. He has not offered to pay for a single bill on any appointments, clothing, or school supplies.
So he's just totally ignoring this family.
Completely.
His first family.
While starting another one. I've
Mm.
never understood that. I've never, how can you, I guess it's
He wants to start fresh.
the ego starting fresh. God.
Yeah.
Sam's third golden rule.
Turn off.
First family doesn't work out. Start fresh,
Mhm.
baby.
I think you get one starter family. You know? You get a starter family, and then you're ready for the big leagues.
Practice family.
Practice family.
The practice family.
The practice family.
Then you go to the big leagues.
Then you go to the big leagues.
Yikes.
Riley's unenthused.
Wait, I'm just trying to figure out if I'm a part of this practice family right now or not.
What do you mean?
Because work's family, right?
Aww.
And like we all live in a house together.
That's right.
But it's his practice family.
You are our major.
No,
league family.
you're our main family.
That's right.
Am I practice family or real family? Let me know in the comments.
Real family.
Tell us.
Do you not see that hug we gave you that was released on January 16th?
Dude.
That's true. I do remember that singular
At
hug.
30
you guys
minutes.
gave me.
Check out the January 16th video at the 30-minute mark and see how much we love Riley.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have the receipts
We
today,
have the
ladies and gentlemen.
Receipts, baby. Editors, put that in to show how much we love Riley.
There we go.
Good, right in the back.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Yeah, I love that. And my son is in football, and my youngest is in competition cheer and gymnastics, and he has not once offered to help with any of those expenses. He is not putting time or money into these children. Also, we have yet to go to mediation for this, so we have no idea what he will be asked to pay, and I am not looking to get by on his dime. Just a little bit of help. But I have never asked him to pay anything in the 15 years we have been parenting together either. So
I feel like it's time.
the question is, the OP is asking, am I the a-hole for asking now that he has the house, the kid?
Not at
everything?
all.
Not at all.
And I think possibly he was lying about some of his finances if he wasn't having to pay that much at all.
I wonder, okay, you know what? You're inspiring
Conspiracy theory?
a conspiracy theory, okay?
All right, take me on this journey.
Let's say that the husband or the ex
Yeah.
was forging his finances all throughout this time. Who knows where he got this money,
Yeah.
but let's say he had this money and he was forging the docs. Well, forget about child support. We're talking what, like embezzlement, fraud,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of other
Man's going to jail again.
a lot of other gay
But at least he's going to white collar jail instead of violent offense jail.
True, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
where they have like tennis courts and stuff.
what if they
Sounds pretty nice.
try to get him in there? Sam always with these takes. Guys, go after him. Go get him. Yarg.
He did the whole Elon Musk segment.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to
Oh,
get torn
yeah.
apart for that, too.
That's going to be a good one. I
Yeah.
can't wait to read those. But yeah, do we think that he could basically go back to jail for like fraud?
I think it's possible. I think
it's
it's possible, but
it's an
I'm
hat,
also
but-
thinking I think it's for sure possible. Well, if they're married, can OP go after the wife's finances now because they're like per government a financial
Yeah.
unit?
yeah.
So it doesn't even matter if it's her money or his.
I honestly think that is probably the most likely scenario is that OP goes after the wife because, again, we're filling in between the lines and assuming, but I have to imagine the wife is providing a lot
Of
to help
financial
them,
assistance.
a lot of financial assistance to help with the house.
But I would love to see this conspiracy theory made into reality.
Let's get back into it.
And also, let me know your opinions of white collar prison.
So, yeah, tell Sam what you think below. And now we're getting into the big fat.
Did you not
juicy
hear
update.
that they like have tennis courts in white collar prison?
Oh, I'm sure they have tennis courts in
Okay.
white
All right.
collar jail. Yeah.
What's bad about what I'm saying here?
I don't know if there's anything bad about what you're saying there.
All right, so that
I'm
means
un-
John
I'm un-
agrees
I'm-
with everything I'm saying.
Incorrect.
God,
Incorrect.
Done.
I'm
Done.
uneducated. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right. There we go.
I got him, boys.
Don't rope me in.
I got him. He's roped.
All right.
He's tied and tasseled.
That's me. Into the update. First, thanks for everyone who had good and kind advice. I also appreciate those of you who shared stories as it helped me feel better about quote unquote effing him over. His words, not mine.
Taking care of your children is not effing someone over.
How dare you try to steal this money from me to try to pay for the kids I didn't pay for?
Don't you
15
realize
years?
that was my practice family? I shouldn't be
on.
held accountable for my practice family.
You can't mark it on my scorecard, babe. I spoke with my mom's attorney yesterday. He said that in my state, I can absolutely get back support as he knew he had children
Run
and
it
was
up.
actively not paying.
Run
caring
it
for them.
up.
Run that up, baby. That means in our situation, it may be hard for me to get back support from our youngest until he was 4, but he will work on it. So it seems like in certain areas, it's harder to get back support, but in general,
But
Big picture.
she'll get something.
she will get something big picture. Not really a huge deal. I'll take what I can get with this. My ex signed the birth certificate of our 2 oldest children.
Oh,
Got it.
so that's what
They have the easily provable receipts for the two oldest.
So he would need a DNA, just would need a DNA test,
More paperwork.
which very easy to do because she could get one of her kids to do a DNA test and then get the youngest to do a DNA test, and if they're related, then
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be.
How educated we have become with these DNA tests.
oh yeah, dude.
A whole spin-off
The
show
other
could
day,
be done.
DNA test came. Like someone talked about 23andMe and Ancestry at dinner yesterday, and I was like,
Dude.
"Boy, do I have things to tell you!
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you about the Pandora's box you just opened. Oh, you thought that was a cute little DNA test? Well, did you know your grandma cheated on your grandma?
Gotcha, bish. We were not together when I had my youngest. We slept together one time. Ugh, I know. And I knew the type of parent he was at that point, so I never called him and told him. His brother absolutely told him, but he never called me to confirm until the day he was born when he showed up to the hospital unannounced. That being said, we did not sign a birth certificate, and we didn't do a DNA test until he was 4 years old. So
okay, so they do know.
They do know, but earlier they said it's hard to get the back support from 4 years old to birth. That 4 year time period.
I see.
basically.
I see. So before they did a DNA test.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The attorney also contacted the child support office. They sent a few papers for me to fill out. I faxed them in this morning, and now I'm waiting on a call. For those of you saying I should have married him before we had kids, seriously? Question mark. I'm glad I didn't. Me too.
Yeah, facts.
I would have been stuck married to this man for so long as he was MIA, missing in action most of the time. Also, where I lived, the father of the child has no legal rights to the children.
Does MIA mean missing in action?
That's exactly what it means.
Whoa.
Old military phrase.
Do you know what KIA means?
Kissing in action?
Oh, God.
Military wise.
He's like, I don't know about other circumstances, but
Killing in action.
Killed in action.
Killed in action.
there you go. Unless he is awarded rights by a judge or you were married, he's not going to get custody of the children, it looks like. I think in most cases, this law is completely unfair, but in mine, it protected my children from him picking them up while on a bender and mad at me and taking off with them.
Yeah.
So OP
basically
agrees-
kidnapping them.
Yeah, OP's like, it's bad to flat out be like, hey, the father has no rights whatsoever. But in my particular case, it actually
makes
worked out
sense.
for the better.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
makes- Together, he and his wife have, guess how many
Kids?
children?
What?
Guess how many children?
Wait, more than one?
There's more than one, and you got to guess how many they have.
I'm going to guess he has at least the same amount or more than his practice family. So I'm going to say like 4.
A good and logical guess. Together, he and his wife have 7 children.
Bro.
7.
Man's seed is strong because like they only hooked up once and then that was the third kid.
Yes,
Straight
and
shooters.
shoot or shoot. There is some more context here, so let's get to that in this.
7.
My 3, so they're counting the children. This is not purely ones that they had.
Oh, okay. So
I
it's
didn't know.
7 total.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I read that next part. So my 3, the one that, OP and the X share together, she has 2 that she does not see or pay for either. So confirmed she is a red flag. She had 2 kids in a previous relationship that she doesn't give an F about.
Oh.
Yep.
Her starter family.
That's right. Yeah. So that's 5 so far. And he has one that was legally adopted away. So no longer his. He never
Wait, he gave an adopted kid away.
Oh my God, dude. This is crazy.
Bro. See, that's bad because he already had a practice family. Like that. You can't have a second practice
Yeah,
family.
Sam's like, now.
That's where it goes.
That's where he crossed the line.
To be
buddy.
clear, this is not one of Sam's marriage relationship rules.
Except it is one of Sam's trademark relationship rules.
Yeah. What would be the rule? You get one practice family
Yeah, you get one practice family.
every 10 years.
Commenter, you know what to do.
I actually
Stitch them
know. I
together.
think
Run it
you
up.
get one practice family, period.
One practice family.
One
period. So-
practice family, period. For your whole life.
Right. Yeah. One
Yeah,
practice family.
And
And you're done.
he violated it because he had a second practice family by getting it like this, adopting this kid.
Exactly.
And so that because of that and only that, he is the a-hole.
Sam's out.
Yeah, for that reason, I'm
I'm out. With the adopted child, he never showed up for the court and they stripped him of his legal rights.
Thank God. This man does not need more kids.
Truly. And he's having another one. It's crazy.
I know.
I will update when I have something else worth adding here. Again, thank you to all of you who were so supportive. This has been a struggle for me for years because I never wanted to make it hard for him to survive, but you are all right. He has never taken any responsibility and he is more than stable now, so it's only fair to me and my children. Thank you so much. We have another update coming up, but we have to pause and break it down.
Let's break it down.
What do we think is the
The real question?
The real question.
What is the real question?
We already determined that OP is not the a-hole for pursuing it.
No.
How should
OP is not the a-hole for sure.
How should OP now pursue it? Actually,
I mean,
put it into action.
For sure, get child support for like going forward for sure.
Yeah.
And I think she should go back as far as possible. I mean, like this guy obviously has the money to help in some way. And so does his partner. They have a house. They could, I mean, like, let's say you can't pay all of it right away. He can take out money against the house and pay it too. So I think there is very little reasons that he shouldn't be able to pay.
What is the number, again, with 3 children, up to 15 years for the oldest, of back pay that he should pay?
Well, it would be 15 years, right?
15 years,
What
3 children.
Average? So, like to calculate that. So,
Yeah.
But we learned that like the average child support was like what?
A few $100.
I think it was like let's say 400.
Very roughly speaking, yep.
So that's $400 a month. $400 a month. So that's $4,800 a year.
Okay.
And what are the ages of the children? 15, 13, and 8.
Yeah.
15.
So times that by 3.
Yep.
So that's 15. So that's 28. That's 36. So you could be looking at $172,000 in back payments.
100.
And I say, frickin' go for it. Take his house.
Go for true. Like honestly, equity line against the house where it's like they get like a second mortgage or something along
$172,000. Like, sheesh.
Bro,
good luck.
He could have been on it. He could have been on it.
Good luck. Does he have to pay that all at once?
That'd be wild.
So when you take out money from your house, like could he take out $172K and then just have to pay like that much more in mortgage?
Yes, I believe that is possible. Because think about it.
That's what he's gonna have to do.
When you get the initial loan for the house, the bank giving you the loan, they have to pay the person all the money. So they do give out,
So and you know what? Like I think if OP sued for $170,000, it is possible that the guy could pay it because he is a homeowner.
Exactly. Homeowner,
the wife.
She said, I believe it was like almost quote unquote, now that he is well off and like doing good financially. So they have the house and they're doing good financially.
Go after it, OP. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Ready to find out if she got it?
I'm ready. I hope this update is filled with money and legal joy.
Same here. Let's get into it. He must have been served his final papers for mediation, which is the 2nd of November. They said that they would give him time to get all of his paperwork together. All right, okay. But he called and asked to get the kids for the weekend 2 weeks in a row. I allowed them to go, as at this point, it wasn't going to change the amount of parenting time he has, as it's been documented all year. So I think she's like, this isn't just breaking it down like, oh, hey, he's picking up the kids. It's almost like because you remember how we looked up like, oh, the child support changes based on how much time they spend at the house and stuff. I think she's kind of like, here's the receipts.
Yeah. So like him
support.
Him, even if he was trying to pull something where it's like, see, I hang out with the kids, like there's enough receipts that even him doing that wouldn't sway the opinion.
You got 15 years against you, my guy.
Oh, man.
He then picked my son up for a 3rd weekend, and while he was there alone, was asking him questions about if I have a boyfriend. Does he see me with bills if I do? I do have someone I spend time with. We are not officially together, and my children only know him as a friend. What I spend money on, how I'm paying my bills, how much I spend on things for him and his siblings, etc., etc. He is mining the kid for information to use against him.
I mean, we already know but like using your kids,
disgusting. He then proceeded to ask if they were willing to give him a bedroom and if he would move in with them. They're trying to get the youngest to live with them now.
What?
The kid that he abandoned for, 10 years? Finally, now that there's a case for him to pay back support, they're coming. They're trying to get him in.
Right, because then he wouldn't have to pay the back.
It could help deduce or just make his case better in general. Yeah, you heard that right. All this money on a new house and my kids wouldn't even have rooms. They have their room. Their child together has a room, and she has a room for herself for quote unquote her time. And they were considering turning the basement into another room. So my children are sleeping on the couch when they visit. They basically have 2 extra bedrooms.
That is so whack.
Wow. My God.
So like, I feel like that proves the point that he actually doesn't care about them. He's just trying to get out of possibly having to pay something.
He's just trying to leverage these children to get out of paying.
What a terrible person.
Awful.
What a terrible person.
I decided not to confront him about any of this. I just documented it for the attorney and passed it on.
But better to do that, catch him off guard.
Playing your cards right. I will update again when we actually go to mediation or if he pulls any more craziness.
And please tell me there's an update.
And that is it for this story right now. That is
I'm
literally
on the edge
all we
of my
got.
seat.
I know. This is a bit,
That's a doozy.
Yeah, it's a doozy.
What? He just gets worse.
He truly just gets worse.
Age like milk, you know?
And you think he can't, crazy convicted felon. It was in and out and then just abandoned, not just this family, other children.
Yeah. I feel like the legal case against him is going to be like a no-brainer though.
And also, one, it's crazy that the wife basically had the same pattern. So I guess they belong together, that she married him. And now basically because she married him,
she's going to possibly get saddled with the financial consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That like sucks for her, but also it sounds like she kind of deserves it a little bit too.
She kind of deserves it. And this just connected to my brain. It's low key could be a get out of jail free card for him, because if it's all her money and like her finances, technically, if you look at it, not paying anything still.
Yeah, and she's responsible.
She's
responsible because if you get married, it's like your financial, all your finances could be
merged. If they have like a joint account, the court could be like, account. Yo, you got this joint account right now today as of this hearing.
At the very least, the house they probably own together. So if they have to take out money against the house,
this is a tough. I'm wondering from anyone in the comments below, have you seen any situations like this?
Have you been in a situation? Like, I imagine we definitely have some parents that have gone through like either divorces or have done some kind of back payments potentially for child support. I would love to know your stories.
Yes. Share advice, stories. We want to hear it all below.
But if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and see you tomorrow.